So again, welcome everybody for coming out today. I am recording this webinar, so I will send it out to everybody that is attending and also that registered. Again, during the webinar, if you have any questions, let me know, and I will definitely do my best to answer them to the best of my ability. But this basically webinar is an introduction to MetaStock 14, what we have changed and in regards to that from version 13 to 14. So for those that are not currently users of MetaStock and are looking to possibly purchase or find out more information, you'll be able to see what we do here at MetaStock and how the program works. But purely we're going to be talking about the new features in MetaStock, what we have done to enhance the software. And then we can talk about possibility of upgrading later on, and I'll leave everybody with my contact information as well. So let's go ahead and get started. So first off, just reading the disclaimer, or we always have to post the disclaimer up here just so everybody knows that this is a demonstration purposes only. I'm not giving you buy or sell recommendations. Everyone should be aware of the risk inherent in trading, and we will not have any liability for any investment decisions based on the use of the software or any trading strategies and or information provided in connection with the company. So what we've done with MetaStock 14, we've actually really changed the name from MetaStock Pro and MetaStock End of Day because it was a little confusing to our institutional side of MetaStock, that it was called MetaStock Pro, and then we on the website we used to just have it labeled as MetaStock. We didn't actually put MetaStock End of Day. So because it's not necessarily considered end of day anymore, you actually do get updates while the market's open now. So we called it MetaStock DC for daily charts and MetaStock RT for real time. This is actually something less confusing to our customers. So that's really the reason why we migrated from MetaStock Pro to MetaStock RT for real time. So there's not a confusion there anymore. It was always the question that I got on the phone and also by email. Well, is MetaStock Pro only for professional traders, or is it only for real time, or how does it work? So that tried to clear that up as much as we possibly could. So that's obviously one of the big things that we've changed on the website. So what's new in MetaStock 14? We've actually really listened to a lot of feedback from customers. The Power Console was, for those of you again that aren't aware of MetaStock, a Power Console is where you'll open up your charts, where you'll run your scans, your back testing. It's where you can open up the forecaster as well and use that particular tool. But what was always very frustrating for customers, especially new users, was using the Power Console. It was more like a wizard versus just opening up one window, putting in your symbols that you wanted to add to or open up, and then having to click next, how many records you want to load, and then open up chart. So now it's all on one screen. The other thing is it is actually going to be resizable now. There's an advanced search feature in the software now for looking at particular symbols. If you're confused what the symbol is and not sure, instead of calling us, which is fine, you can call us, of course, but if we're not here, it was really frustrating for customers, especially when you're doing your analysis at night, and you couldn't find the right symbol that you were looking for. So that's something that we definitely improved, and it's actually a lot nicer now. We added tick bars in there. That was always a big request from our real-time traders. So that's, of course, only in MetaStock real-time, not in the daily MetaStock, because it doesn't have real-time data. So now you can do that, and I'll go into detail on that as well. You now can draw and select patterns in the forecaster. I'll spend a lot of time in explaining that and how that works. We've added some extra events in there for options and commodities, as well as futures. And now you have the ability to rank in the forecaster as well. And then we've added a new trading system called the LCI trading strategy. It's built on support and resistance and pivots, Fibonacci's, and things like that. So, whoop, went backwards. So I'm not going to go through and read this whole thing. It'd be really boring. So again, I kind of already went through what we've done in the Power Console. Resizable, you actually have split screens as well. Be able to manage your system tests and explorations a lot quicker and easier. You actually can right-click on the system to perform different functions, creating custom lists, improving the tests and explorations, periodicity updates, things like that. I'm going to go ahead and just open up MetaStock now. Let me just bring it over to the screen here. Okay, so as at first glance you can tell that the Power Console is a lot different versus the other one was probably half this size. Now you've got all of your lists here. The first thing you'll notice is you don't have that Manage Custom List down here at the bottom anymore. It's actually up here where you can just right click and create custom lists or manage public lists as well. But the other thing that you'll notice is it's all tree stacked now, so you can expand this or collapse it as much as you want to. So I've got 24,000 symbols in my particular list. But when you first get MetaStock or install 14, actually for 13 users it'll carry over all your custom lists and anything that you have customized. But for new users of the software, you know, this goes with old users as well. Now you can just right click on the instruments there and do Manage Public List, and it opens up this little list editor. So now I can choose whatever I want to see in my Power Console. I don't have to go through and scroll all the way down. Okay, well I only want to look at the NASDAQ 100. So, or the FTSE. Maybe if I'm in the UK, I just want to look at that. Or I want to look at just the sectors, I can do that too. Now I can just select what I want. So on my side, what I've done is I've just selected Forex, and I've kind of titled that here so I can look at it, I can find it easy in the Power Console. I've got one of the futures exchanges, the Chicago Merc, S&P 5, NASDAQ. I mean, you can see the list right here. I don't need to read that to you. You know, let's say if you want to add one of the industries, you could do the food products. All you do is just click here, click add. I can move this up so it's in my stock area. So everything is going to appear at the bottom, but you could just move it up if you want to. You know, maybe you want to add beverages, you can do that too. So I just kind of want to show you how everything works. Where your cursor is set, it's going to appear for your next one. So we'll just leave that as is right now. But again, you've got everything in here. We also added, and we did this before, I don't know if anybody took note of it, but for Forex traders it was frustrating because we have almost 300 different pairs that you can trade. So we just created a list purely for the major pairs. It's like top 20 of them in there, so you don't have to scroll through the entire list, maybe if you don't know the pair symbol. So it made it a little easier for everybody as well. So then we'll just go over here and click Save and Close. So now it opens up automatically, and it has added those into my Power Console. So again, I can go in and just collapse and expand this if I want to. So I'm just going to go down here. Let me actually close my custom online data because I don't want to mess with that right now. I want to go into my equities here. But you can see each one individually has a little triangle there where you can just expand or close it. So if I want to look at something on the NASDAQ, maybe I'm not sure the symbol and I want to go through it, you can definitely do that. I find it easier if I'm doing this. I like going through the NASDAQ 100. A little easier to scroll just to kind of show you how it works. Then if you want to open up anything, you just check the box, of course. Maybe if you have, you know, a certain amount of stocks that you want to open, we'll just open up those ones. Now one thing, if you select those and you want to deselect everything and not open anything or go back to kind of square one, all you do is come up here now and uncheck this box right next to Instruments. You can see right here it shows that I've got 5 selected out of 24,000, and I can just uncheck that and basically I'm back to square one. So now I'll just go back and select these for us so we can open those up. Let me open these up on a chart, and then I'm going to come back to the Power Console real quick so I can show you kind of the rest of it. Okay, back to the Power Console. We'll come back to the charts in a second. So here's the other thing that we have enhanced. With the Explorer, you had to, again, click through different windows in order to run your exploration. So it was really hard, and I would probably use the word clunky, to run your exploration, and then if you wanted to go back and add more to lists as far as that list that you're running on, you had to kind of flip between 2 different windows. Now it's all in one window. So over here, when you click on the Explorer, you can have these expanded or collapsed, just like we did with the instrument list on opening up our charts. If you want to just unselect what I had selected before and kind of start from square one again, you can definitely do that now. And again, they're all expandable or collapsible. So now as well, in the exploration window, if you want to know what that particular system is doing, then you can just kind of scroll down and hover over the one that you want to see what it actually does. A lot of them are self-explanatory, but it actually gives you a summary of the exploration now. Instead of you having to click on it and then choose summary, now you can just hover your mouse over it and you know exactly what that one does, and it gives you the explanation there as well. So, you know, if you have one of the Dr. Elder add-ons, you hover over that, tells you exactly what it does. Your Equus 5-day high, again, tells you exactly what it does. And everything you're doing right here in the Power Console. You can load your records, you can scan on daily, 5-minute, 30, 60, whatever it is that you want to do. Again, you can kind of make all of the other reports. Obviously, I always want to have selected notify me when report is ready. I didn't have that selected one time. The report window didn't show up. So, and then obviously if you want to use your filter, if you've got a custom scan that you've created, make sure that you check that as well. Same thing with the system tests. Again, you can come over here and here's all the system tests broken out by two separate windows. And you can also, like we advertised, you can expand this, or sorry, you can resize it now. So if I want to make it a certain size according to my computer screen, you can do that as well. Or we can just maximize it and it makes it that big. So I don't have to worry about, you know, going back and forth, and you know, it's just a lot easier. That was like the first thing that customers wanted with 13 is resize this window. So let's go back and make it a little smaller there for you. So that's actually something that's been very well received from our customers. They really like that option, as well as obviously not having to scroll through different or click through different screens in order to run your explorations or system tests, everything like that as well. So, and then of course, now you can actually, what we've done as well is you can open up the chart and actually use the template's periodicity. So let's say I have a chart that has like a 10-minute or a 5-minute chart and an hourly chart. I want to actually use the template's periodicity, and it'll actually calculate that. Where before you had to go in and edit that on the template that you created, and then you would have to, you know, go back and then reopen it and use it that way. So it's just a lot easier. We just really made it so it's all inclusive for you on the Power Console. You don't have to go through, and again, we just made it simpler, easier to use, changed the interface a little bit on there. At first glance, it does take a little bit getting used to, but not much. I mean, you'll find that it's actually a lot easier to use. So I'm going to go ahead and just close this for right now. So now that I've got the chart open, again, one of our big requests from our customers was doing tick charts. So now, or sorry, tick bars. So now you can actually come down here just like you did when you would change any of the periodicities. You just click on the D here, come over here to custom, and then we will do tick, top here. And it automatically defaults to the Fibonacci numbers. So it was also something that customers wanted with the tick bars. So you can use the defaults of the Fibonacci numbers, or you can do, let's say you want to do a 500 tick bar. So all you do is just click apply, or you can just do OK, and it'll update that for us automatically. So now each of these is one tick is each bar, excuse me, is representing 500 ticks. That was also something that was very requested. So now you're actually looking at the total number of trades versus your time, because you're just looking at the bid and the ask prices now. Instead of looking at a normal bar or candlestick chart, you're looking at the open, high, low, close, and volume of the price. Now you're purely looking at the amount of trades that's coming in. So before, you could always do a tick chart. I think we had like 30 days of historical tick charts. But now you can actually edit that and change it. So you can do as many as you want to. It actually does have, you can do anywhere from 1 tick up to 10,000 ticks on any bar. But again, automatically, we've customized it so the defaults are going to default to the Fibonacci numbers, as you can see right here. So that was something that a lot of customers liked about other software packages that they had used in the past, and wanted this to be with MetaStock as well. So that's definitely another thing that we've done. So the other thing, kind of like I was explaining, if you wanted to create your own template and use that template's periodicity, let's say I want to take these, I think I opened 4 charts. But let me just grab 2 of them so I can kind of explain what I meant by the template's periodicity. So let's say I have this one on a tick and this one I want on a daily. So if I want to save this as a template and I want to open it from my Power Console, it's exactly what you'll be able to do. I'm not going to run through these steps and explain everything that I'm doing right now. Most MetaStock users know exactly what how to create a template. If you don't, call me and I can definitely walk you through it. Sorry, I can't type with this computer. There was a question on how much RAM the new version requires. It's the same as previous versions. We recommend at least 4, but I mean, I've got 8 on mine. I have customers that have a lot more, anywhere between, I mean, at the minimum, you'd want to have at least 4 as far as that goes to install the program and run it, and for running explorations and back testing and things like that. There was a question on this is actually something I was going to talk about, but the question already came up. The max number of formulas that you can actually have now is up to 5,000. We used to have the limit of 2,000 formulas for MetaStock, and now it's 5,000. So you have a lot more ability that way. So you didn't, before you had to actually delete off formulas and indicators that you had saved or created on your own, and then you'd have to switch back and forth. But now you've got that ability, so we increased it to 5,000 for you. So again, now if I wanted to open this layout or this template, I'm just going to close the entire charts here. I think I actually, yeah, I took it off. So let me open it back up. I'm sorry. All right. So yeah, we got one on tick and the other one is on daily. Let me run through that really quick again. Let's go down here, change it to template, Dave's test template. Okay. Now we'll close it. Because we already did it. So going back to the Power Console, if I want to use that template, just come down here, Dave's test template. Where did it go? Oh, I remember. Let me select my. I think you actually have to close MetaStock first before it actually recognizes it, but I'm not going to do that. Yeah, it's not showing up. Oh, excuse me. Go. Apologize. I think it does. But anyway, yeah, you have to actually close MetaStock and then reopen it for you to be able to do that. But if I open it up and close it, then it would take effect. So I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to worry about it. But it just basically take note that you can actually use the template's periodicity in MetaStock now directly from the Power Console instead of opening up the chart, right-clicking, and then selecting the template that way. John, I see your question, and I'll come back to it in a second. Let me just finish what I'm talking about right now. There was another question that how many charts you can have open at a time. The limit is 100, still just like 12 and 13. And then there's a couple other questions that I'm going to come back to in a minute. We'll actually probably try to address those at the end of the webinar so I can get through what I want to talk about. So let me actually, I am going to just really hurry quickly and close MetaStock and then reopen it. I want to make sure that this actually does take effect so I can show you how to do it. So let me just reopen it again. I have a pretty fast computer here, so it shouldn't take too long to open it back up. Okay, so now, I hope it shows up. Let's do apple.o, apply template. There it is, Dave's test template. Use templates periodicity, open chart, and it opens up both my chart, one with the daily, one with my tick chart. So that's how you do it. So there was another question that when you had more charts open than 6, it kind of froze up, and that shouldn't be the case, Archie. That would actually be a question that you'd want to talk to support about, because I've been able to open up 100 at a time. Obviously testing it for customers, I don't look at that many at one time. So coming back in here, let's say I want to do an instrument search. Now this is kind of, again, the big thing that a lot of customers complained about with version 13, whereas now it's a lot simpler. So now, let's say I don't know the name of the symbol, and I just want to look at Amazon. So before, it would pop open with everything that has Amazon in it. And it was really frustrating for customers because it wouldn't actually show me the one that I wanted. The one that I wanted is the one that's traded on the NASDAQ. Well, now you can actually just search based on your list that you have in the Power Console, whereas before it would grab everything that we have. So what you do is just unclick this Search All Public symbols, and it only shows me the one that I want, that I have in my list. So you could do the same thing. Maybe you don't know the Dow Jones symbol. Again, right here at the very top. Oh, I actually didn't put the indices in there, so I don't have it in there. But let's say you wanted to find the diamond of the Dow, so that one would be DIA. If I had put the indexes in there, I forgot I didn't put them in there, then it would actually show up. So that's something else that you can do. Obviously, you can go in here and do starts with, ends with as well. This is all directly through the Power Console. So if you aren't aware, you can just come over here under Instrument Search and then use all of that. Make sure if you are just wanting to search what you have in your Power Console, just make sure you check Search All Public symbols. There was another question if I was going to show the LCI. Bill, I am going to show the LCI. I just kind of want to get through the beginning of what we've enhanced, of course. And there's a lot of other questions I'm going to kind of ask that we wait until the end so I can continue to move through the webinar, so we can show everybody what we've added to it. And then Archie, I'll come back to your question as well. John, I'll come back to yours as well. So now let's actually talk about the forecaster and what we've changed in there. I've talked to a lot of customers about this just during the last 2 weeks that we've released the upgrade. Some of them don't even use the forecaster, and I think the main reason why that is because they don't understand it, or maybe they just haven't really played around with it enough. So the forecaster is actually a very, very neat tool. This was actually a big request from a lot of our customers in the past. I remember when I first started, I always got this question, well, does MetaStock have the ability to forecast into the future? You know, I can backtest all day long and see how it did in the past, but I really want to see how it would be where it would be expected to go. Or, you know, if you guys can forecast into the future a certain amount of days, that would actually really help my trading. Well, we finally did come up with that in version 13. It's a very neat tool. A lot of people use it on a daily basis. Some don't. But I just wanted to show you because it's a main change, one of the bigger changes in MetaStock. And it really does enhance your trading and help you be able to set your stops where you need to be, where you can see where the probability of those prices heading in the right direction, or obviously if they're going in the wrong direction, not to enter that trade. So I'm just going to put in, let's just put in the Dow for this one, and then we'll just make sure you have forecaster selected. One last thing before I move on to the forecaster is there was always a question, or complaint rather, when I ran an exploration, it would default back to charts. And so I think I'm still on the Explorer option, and it wouldn't, I'd be trying to run an exploration, it would say, oh, sorry, you have a limit of 100, which is the limit of opening up charts, of course. Now it actually will default back to where you were before. So if I ran an exploration, and I open up the Power Console back up, it'll open up where I was. As well, when I'm opening up a chart, automatically when you open up, the cursor's in the instrument field, so you can just start typing, and there's your symbols. And then one last thing before let me actually open up this symbol. While it's opening, I'm going to actually talk about the search function actually down here. Before, when you went down here, again, it didn't update, and you didn't know where it was searching for. But now, once you click on that, it opens up my list. So I've got everything that I have in my system or in my Power Console under my custom lists and everything that I have on there. Again, you can search all public lists, or you can just search your custom lists if you want to. Search by symbol or name or contains with. So it is something that's very, very good now. Again, that was always the complaint. Oh gosh, there's like Apple is traded on so many exchanges. How do I know which one is the one for the US? What's this one right here? So you just come down here and click that one. Of course, the other thing that opened up, because I didn't type out the symbol entirely, is the advanced one. So I just click on Apple and then just select instrument and it opens it up. I've already got it open, so it's not going to open it up again for me. And then over here on previous versions, I mean all versions of MetaStock did this. Under the options, if you're creating a template and you want to use it for all of your charts, you can just click on this, use chart as a template, keep all line studies, change all charts in my layout. So let's say I had 6 charts open. I can do that and it'll change it for me for next time that I open it up. And it keeps it that way. So it's nice that way. I mean, it's a lot easier to use, more user-friendly like I mentioned, and it just really does help out with being able to use the software and not have to fumble around it trying to find out what you're wanting. So Sanjay, the reason why your Power Console is probably different is because you haven't upgraded yet to version 14. This is actually only with 14, not 13. So that was the reason why your Power Console looks different. So let's go over to the forecaster now. I'm just waiting for it to load. I have kind of a slower computer here at work. At home, it's a little bit quicker. Just give me one moment, and it's just finishing opening up. Let me actually go back and answer some of your questions since we're waiting for that. Craig, I'll answer that question kind of towards the end. The question was, what's been done to the actual market internals, you know, your COT, to write algorithms and things like that. What they changed was with version 13, where you got those sector stat indicators will pull the actual sector itself. I believe, and it has also the McClellan oscillator and things like that. As far as the market internals on your question, I'll have to find out. I'll talk to support on that and see what has been done as far as that goes. And then there was another question about how much RAM you need to run. I thought I had mentioned that it actually requires at least 4 gigs of RAM to run MetaStock Pro. Now with end of day, I believe it's only about 2. So if you're running Pro, then you need about 4 at the very minimum. I mean, if you're running Windows 7 or 8, they require 3 already. So to run it and have it the performance decent. The one question I did want to come back to is yours, John. You said you have a prior version of the program that still uses the downloader, and you haven't upgraded because you have some in-house custom data that you import into the downloader to use with it. I mean, you can input data now as long as you do have version 13 and higher. Again, it doesn't necessarily require you to use the downloader. As long as it's in a CSV format, then you can import it into MetaStock 14 and also with 13. So definitely probably give me a call and we can kind of discuss that a little further, but that would, in version 12 you couldn't do that, which is probably why you didn't upgrade with version 12, but with version 14 you can, and you could with 13 as well. So I'll actually have to come back with on your question there. So, and then the other question was, can you scan on real time? And Craig, you can scan on real time data. So like if you want to scan on a 30-minute or 60-minute chart, or 5-minute, you can scan on that as well. Okay, let me come back and see if the forecaster is up. Okay, forecaster is up. Okay, so now with our forecaster, it looks very similar to the previous version, but now I've actually just selected one that I was playing around with earlier before. So let me kind of go back to what it looks like when you first open the forecaster. Forgot to check that. Rescan. Okay, So in the forecaster, when you first open it up, it'll actually give you all of the events that we have. But now, like I had mentioned in the PowerPoint, you can actually rank those. The highest profit potential, right here where it has, you can sort it by this. So which event's going to be highest profit potential, and that's how I got it right now. Highest profit potential long only, shorts only, most accurate current forecast, most pronounced, distinct forecast, most recent events, most events, and then recognizer name. So I like to leave it at the most profit potential because that's really what I'm looking for and what I want to see in the forecaster. We've added some extra events, 5 different events in here that, again, you can sort by those as well. Right now, it actually, when you open up a chart, it's only going to show you the ones that are recognized on this. So it may not show all of them on there. Now, the way that you can actually go and access and see all of them is just by going over here to the event recognizer library, and here it has every single one of them. You know, there's one on there that's called, let's see if I can find it, triple witching hour event, or triple witching event, which means that there's a few times during the month that, or sorry, there's a time during the month that the futures contracts for commodities and also futures expire on the same day, and that's what that actually recognizes. A lot of people wanted that in the event organizer, excuse me, the forecaster. So that also is something else that we've added into the software. A lot of the times there's a big rally kind of towards the end of the year. So we added what we call the barometer negative or positive as well. And then there's a couple others in there at the same time. What I really want to focus on though is talking about patterns. Like we advertised in there that you can define your own patterns. I mean, patterns is a big thing with trading. We all kind of want to look at reversal patterns, or you want to look at a pivot pattern, or maybe you just want to look at a double top or a double bottom. And what we've done is you can either kind of copy that pattern from the chart, or you can really define your own. So you come up here where it has draw a new pattern, click that. I'm just going to do this is test pattern, and you can put a description if you want. There's a couple of different options that you can choose. You can look at how many bars you want to look for in that pattern. You can actually select sensitivity if you want a high sensitivity for ones that are very, very close to what you've drawn, low or medium. I like to keep it medium just because I get the most results from that one. Now you actually have a pattern matching mode where you can actually you can look for just the shape only, or you can look for shape and location. So let's say I come over here and I draw a pattern like this, and I want to be identified, or I want it to show me with mark on the chart. As you saw, there are a bunch of yellow triangles on the chart where those patterns are and where they have occurred. If I do shape only, I'm going to get a lot more results. If I do shape and location, that's really what it's going to do, is it's going to be a lot more sensitive. So let's say I'm going to clear this so I can show you what I mean. So if I do just shape and location, and I draw my pattern like this, it's only going to look in that area of the chart, so at the very, very top. Let's say I do it just on the bottom part of the chart. Same thing. It's going to be only in that area of the chart. So I like to keep it on shape only. I'll just clear the pattern. And then over here I can identify for how many bars that I want it to look for. I'm just going to leave it at 15 because that's the default. So what I kind of found is easier for me to just kind of show you everything on here. I'm just going to do one quick pattern here. I wanted to actually forecast out 90 days. You can select only 30. If you want to do 180 as well, you can do that. So let's just do 90. Then if you kind of want to quick test it, what happened here? I'm just going to continue. If you want to quick test it, let me see if it actually works. It worked on my work computer. Not sure what's going on here. Oh, I don't know what it is. I actually have to create the pattern first, and then I can do. Oh, I know what I did wrong. I think that's what I did. There we go. So let's go back down right here, and we'll do modify. So now I can actually come down here and do the quick test. I had wrong characters in there. That was the problem. So you can see how it does, how my pattern looks as comparison to the Dow, and I can scroll back here as well, see if it has any matches. You know, that's another way. Maybe if I need to make it a little more pointy here, we can do that too. So now we'll just go in and click save on here. Got this, and I want to just select that pattern only, or maybe if I want to do this, I'll show you how to copy the pattern and identify that on the chart too. So we'll just do rescale selected analysis. It's going to rescale it and just identify that pattern that I drew. So you can see there's quite a few times that it appears on my chart. Let me just kind of scroll in for everybody. Did that the wrong way. Oops. Okay. So now it actually will identify those, and again, it's not just I don't have to be exactly the same shape as that particular pattern. I can, it's basically not, I mean, obviously the pattern where it's identified it is not spot on to how I drew it. But what you can also do is that you can hover over it and you can see the pattern that I drew, and then the pattern deviation as well, what it looks like as comparison to my chart. Confidence of 80%. The patch matter number numbers each one of these, and it also highlights it right there on the chart, so it identifies that pattern for us as well. So if I click on the triangle, it'll actually put the forecast cloud on here for me, and we can see how well it did. You really, with the forecaster, for those that haven't used it, you really want to pay attention to those pinks and bright pinks. That's where your probability comes in, the confidence level. So when it breaks above that confidence level, that doesn't mean that the forecaster didn't work. That just means that it's more of an indication that it is working, that it's more probable to continue to go up when it's broken above that. You know, I could do a couple things. I could put more money on my trade. I could tighten up my stops if I wanted to. You know, there's just another way of helping you know exactly where those prices tend to go. I mean, sometimes, obviously, if it just went the complete opposite direction, it's not going to be a good pattern to follow. Or if you're using one of the predefined ones in there, it's not going to be a good one either. So that's, you know, and this is a new feature that a lot of people really wanted to draw their own patterns. And, you know, there's a lot more things that are coming to this as well. So the other thing, what you can do, let's say it's like, oh man, I don't know what pattern I want to draw. Well, let me just grab this one right here. So you can come up here and select user defined pattern, and you just take your mouse and just tell it, okay, well, I want to do that part of the Dow, or of this chart. And I want to find out where that occurs and how many times it's occurred. You know, it may not occur only once or twice, but at least you know when that's occurring. Maybe you want to look for your reversals on your chart. So let's just call this, let's just do Dow pattern. I think I already have them called Dow pattern, so I'm just going to call it Dow pattern 2. Again, you can come down here, and if you want, oh, the other thing I didn't talk to you about is you can actually reverse the pattern. Maybe you want to invert it. So you want that pattern to be in there, or you want to reverse it. You can do that as well. So let's just do, excuse me, just do back to where I wanted it. And then, as you can see, there's little circles on here too. So let's say you want to make this, you want to edit the pattern around after you've created it. You just come up here, over here on the right side. If you see it in the list, select it, click modify. And you can go over here and just kind of modify it how you want to. You know, maybe that's the type of pattern that you're looking for instead. So let's undo the pattern change. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and save this. Again, you can do the quick test. I was getting that message earlier. The reason why is because I had a character in there that it didn't like. You can't put apostrophes in there in the name. So that was why. It wasn't that there was anything wrong with the forecaster. I was using it wrong. So again, you can kind of scroll back and see when this actually occurs in the chart. If I went back to the time when this actually happened, it's going to give me a 100% match. But here it's a really good option because it gives you more of a confidence level where it might be breaking up or down. So another thing that you can do. Let's go ahead and save this. And I'm going to uncheck Dave's test pattern. We'll just use the Dow now. So I come over here and do rescale. And it identifies all of those patterns. Again, I just copied that from the chart. I didn't draw my own. And I actually like that function a little more than identifying my own. Maybe if you want to look for double tops and bottoms and things like that. So when you come over here and you just hover your mouse over that, I'm not zoomed in enough. Let me zoom in more. Got a lot of data loaded in here. So there it is. Okay. So if I come over here and hover, it's going to show me my pattern and the deviation again. So if I click on it, then it plots my forecast cloud on here and gives me my confidence level, really. I mean, again, we've got some pretty bright, almost like yellows in there. We've got some nice pinks. And it actually is doing exactly what it's meant to do. It's identified that pattern for me. Again, if you want to hover it over there, you can definitely do that. And it's forecasted in there where those prices tend to go. If it's going to drop below the probability, it's more likely to go below. And it is doing exactly what it's meant to do. And if you want to, you can also add or open a new analysis directly from the forecaster. I don't have to go back to MetaStock. It does automatically open up the Power Console back into MetaStock, but I don't have to switch back and forth. It just automatically opens it back up for me. And then got some other questions on the pattern. Manny, if you can hold until the end, that'd be great, because I'm running out of time and I want to talk about the new trading system, if that'd be okay. I don't have any problem staying late after the webinar. I just want to get through it, and then we'll answer have a Q&A. So let's go back and open up. Let's see. Let's just do IBM. So you just come again. You don't have to do next or anything like that. I'm just going to click on load default records, so it loads a little quicker for me on daily. Start forecaster. And my other one opens up right here. So I'm going to uncheck or close the Dow. So now I've got IBM. And again, I actually have the pattern, the same one that I had on here. And let's zoom in a little bit for you. Again, you can hover it over here and it shows you that pattern again, the one that I copied and created on my list. Then we can use the forecast cloud to forecast in there as well. Again, the direction of the cloud doesn't mean that's where it's expecting to go. I mean, you're really paying attention to those pinks or bright yellows, and that's, you know, a higher probability that it's going to go where the forecast is tending. It's going out of its probability range, which means that it's highly likely that it's going where it needs to. I mean, it's forecasting into the future for you. Of course, if you were right here, you know, then it'd be a lot better, but I just kind of wanted to show you how that'll work. So this has been a tool that a lot of customers have asked for. The ability to actually create their own patterns as well has also done that as well, or has also been a big request. So that's kind of. And then the other thing, again, if I wanted to, if I had the entire list up here, you could rank those, and that will also rank yours too that you have selected. So I mean, there's definitely a lot of things you could do with it. You can also edit it straight from this window. If I only want to see maybe my 30 days instead of 90 or 180, you can do that too. So again, really try to make it as customizable as we possibly could. So let me go ahead and just close the forecaster. I want to hop back over to my PowerPoint to explain the LCI system, which is the new trading method in MetaStock. And let me open back up. So this is one of the systems that a lot of people, I don't want to say requested, but it was something that a lot of people liked as far as support and resistance and Fibonacci's. This is brand new to MetaStock 14. There's nothing like it in MetaStock previous versions. It's nice because it does everything automatically. As you can see on my PowerPoint here, it's based on support and resistance. It uses both Fibonacci's pivots and support in its calculations automatically. It does it for you. You don't have to do anything extra. You don't have to create the chart on your own. It's done for you. What is really nice with this, and I love about this system, is it has a very detailed commentary window. For those that don't use the commentary window, I highly suggest using it. It gives you your entry, your exits, your stop settings. It ranks the system based on those particular indicators, your Fibonacci's, your pivots. Gives you a confidence level, how likely that is to, how well that trade would happen if you entered. And it does actually obviously tell you if you need to be bullish or bearish, the percentage of it going up or the percentage of it going down as well. So it's something that has been very, very well received. Comes automatically with your identifying indicators, support, resistance levels. It looks at volume, overbought, oversold conditions. Set your trailing stops and profit targets. Looks at your exhaustion, your volume expansion and exhaustion. So definitely something that's very, very well done. Like I had already mentioned, it automatically identifies your key indicators, your support, your resistance levels. You don't have to input these yourself. You don't have to go in and try and edit these and make it, custom to what you want. It uses proprietary calculations, as I mentioned, and to accurately really identify these levels. So I'll show you in MetaStock here in a minute. You've got your Fibonacci retracements, again, automatically done without having to manually draw them on the chart. You just go in and apply the template and it does it for you. Has your volume indicators, which is really, as everybody knows, that's always the biggest thing that we all look at. We look at the volume. I mean, that's what we're looking at. We like to identify patterns. We like to look at the volume. You want to look at that trend going up or down, and then really looking at that exhaustion and expansion to really give an edge on understanding where the direction of the market is going and how fast, of course. He has a edited or adjusted, what he calls it, Williams percent R, calls it the LCI or percent R. It's really easier to read and identify your overbought and oversold conditions, and really identify the cycle of that particular trend as well. You have your stop loss indicators that are built in on the template automatically. These little dots here are your stop loss indicators, and it also identifies those in the commentary window too. So you can scan and actually rank on this as well, and in the exploration it actually will set those as one of the scores or one of the columns in the Explorer. So now that we're into the template, let's actually hop back over to MetaStock. Let's open up, let's just do Boeing. And I can do it directly from the Power Console again. Actually, I'm defaulted back to the Forecaster. So let's do, like I mentioned, that's something that's new. So scroll down here until you see these LCI. You can do the main, the SR, the zones, and also the Fibonacci's. Let's plot the Fibonacci one since that's the one that's mainly used. Now again, you can go in and right-click on the chart if you want to and change the template, and just scroll down until you see your LCIs. So let me just use the more popular one, which is your Fibonacci. Now, as you can see on the chart, you've got your MBs and your PBs. Basically what that means is major bounce, pivot bounce is what that means. So it's really identifying those right on the chart. Let's go ahead and just put and you can see your volume is being calculated as well for your expansion and exhaustion. Let's plot that commentary window on here. And then right-click Expert Advisor Commentary. And we just apply that here. Let's just put our caret right there. So as you can see, it gives you your reversal projection, your analysis breakout. Let me actually undock the commentary window. I want to expand it out a little bit. There we go. So you've got we're on a daily chart of Boeing. You've got your bullish. I mean, this is your scoring. How likely it is to continue in a bullish area. You're never going to be at 100%. It can go up to 80, I believe, is what he's looking at for your scoring level on your support and resistance levels. And he's plotted those again. We plotted those automatically on here as well. It looks at automatically your LCIR, which is your adjusted percent R, on an oversold condition. And then this updates automatically for you. If you were using this with the real-time program, it's going to automatically update. It automatically shows you your Fibonacci retracements, your majors and your minors, and then you obviously have your stop loss right here. Based on the current volatility, standard trailing stop values should be used. Now what he's also done is he has about 80 hours of training purely on this system. We could have sold this as an additional add-on separately, but it's actually included with MetaStock. So it's actually a very, very complete part of the system now. And this was something that a lot of customers wanted. They wanted to have a ranking system or a scoring system. Well, here you go. Hopefully this is something that will really help with trading, to really know where the market is heading based on its particular trends. I wanted to actually move to this pivot bounce right here. See this one, you've got a 75.20 for the bullish, the bear, and then it gives you all of your trade management right here, which is perfect. Your limit entry, additional confirmations, your initial stops, at what price you need to get in, those kinds of things. So again, this is a very, very complete system, and it's based on support and resistance. If you want to actually go in and let's apply some of the other indicators on here as well. So let's look at the SR main and apply that one. And this is the one that actually includes your stop loss and also is a little better view in my opinion. But he also has these Fibonacci and support and resistance levels as well. Zooming in on the chart, you can see where your stop losses need to be set at. You, again, right click, expert advisor, commentary. You can, let's say, let's put it right here on the PB or pivot bounce. Where that is tending to go. It's hit your Fibonacci level, your support and your resistance, and it's heading down. It sets your stops for you automatically again. This is a very, very complete system, and it's perfect for trading any market. The person that created it traded options, also trades a little bit on the stock side of things, a lot of futures as well, mostly options. So I know it works perfect. Actually, the person that created it used to work here, and I saw it in the beginning development stages, so he's definitely come a long way, and it is as perfect system as you could really get. It's great for any type of market. It doesn't necessarily matter that if you're a US trader trading in the North American markets. It's great for European, international markets. It does not necessarily matter. And it's really good because this is something that our customers have been wanting, to really have a ranking system and scoring system within the software. Things that actually work. A lot of people are sorry, I lost my train of thought. They're going to work in any type of market, and that was really the reason for this. Back in when we created the MetaStock 10, we included that RMO system, which was very well received. This is going to be very similar. This is a great system for those, and the fact that you're getting it with MetaStock when you upgrade is outstanding, because we could have sold this for an additional $400, but we decided to include it in the software. So it is definitely a very, very, very good system. So I hope that really kind of helps out with understanding everything that we've included in MetaStock. We really tried to make a lot of changes, and in the past, before version 12, we weren't able to make a lot of changes with it. But now that we're able to, definitely if you have suggestions for us, let us know, because we definitely take those into consideration very seriously. There is a lot of training on his website, as I mentioned. I can definitely send those over to your email if you didn't get the link. But also, if you have the MetaStock 14 already, his link is actually right here at the bottom, so you can definitely get some more trading on this system. So, and he's actually uploaded quite a bit of videos. I think about, probably say about 30 or 40 videos that he's done. 80 hours in total is what he's told us, but very, very good system and very complete. So, Bill, yes, it does work on Forex. Let me go in and plot in the Forex. Yeah, typed it in wrong. Whoops. Let me open it up through the Power Console. Equals. Okay, there we go. If you want to change this over, maybe you want to do it on an hourly chart. Change it over to an hourly chart. Whoop. There we go. right click, we're going to apply that template. It is very, very important that you have that template open. I mean, if you don't, it's not necessarily you're flying blind, but you are not using the system to its full potential. And you know, again, tells you where your bullish bounce is, your trade management, and where it must break above to confirm the trade. So that's actually something that's nice, where he shows you right here where your price has got to go, or how many bars you got to go in order to enter into that trade. The entry, your initial stop, your targets, your primary target, your extended target. Kind of like, I don't know if anybody owns the ETS trading system. You know, he did that kind of same thing, where you got your initial target, your primary, your extended, where your Williams percent are, your overbought and oversold conditions, your expansions. And you know, it's, again, like I said, it's a very, very complete system, very easy to follow, and I think you'll like it quite a bit using it with MetaStock. You're looking at your volatility, as he tells us here. You know, keep your trailing stop very tight. Should be used. So there's all of your loss, ranking all of the Fibonacci's, and really kind of helping you be successful with your trading, looking at the overall trends and support and resistance. And I know a lot of customers that's what they've been doing with MetaStock for years. Just using purely support and resistance, maybe a few extra indicators. I mean, this just takes it to a next level completely. You know, it looks at those major bounces, it looks at your reversals, it takes into effect your volatility. And understanding those are definitely going to be more helpful. Like I mentioned, there's quite a bit of training on this. I actually haven't even been able to go through all of them yet, because there is quite a bit in there. He did do a webinar a couple days, last Tuesday, and I can definitely send that out to you. If those of you that didn't get to watch it, I'll definitely send it over for you. But yeah, so that's what we've tried to do with MetaStock, is make it more easy, really to help you identify what to trade, when to trade. It's actually got a little bit of time. I want to run an exploration on his system, just kind of show you. You can see the different rankings in there. So let's just scroll down. Okay. So again, you can look at the bearish bounce signals, and when you hover over it, you know, it actually will give you the summary, like I'd mentioned. And then it has, you know, for additional information, you can go to his website as well. So it looks at your major support levels, your price patterns, volume patterns, retracements. Find your high probability. Again, if you want to hover over each one, here's the one that actually you can do the scoring with as well. So it looks at that too. So let's just check this. And I'm just going to use one of my lists here. Let's just do, we'll just grab the S&P 500. Hang on just a second. Okay, here we go. We'll do the NASDAQ 100. I'm just going to use minimum records. We're just going to use daily so we can do it a lot quicker. Start exploration. Again, my explorations are running a little slower just because of a slower connection here. But go in, click on reports, and then it actually will show you exactly which ones are bullish. Let's make this a little bigger. Your minor, your major, and actually score all of these on here. Your major bounces, and actually score those in there. You can obviously open it directly from the chart if you want to. Which ones need to be bullish? The scoring system on the bullish and bearish, where they're headed. You know, as you saw at the very top of the chart, which one has the highest probability of hitting that trade. You know, if you're looking at the bearish, you know, 87, that's high. I mean, definitely very good indication of being a fantastic trade. You know, and then you can open it directly from the chart. So, but I am running out of a little bit of time. I hope I've been able to show you everything possible inside of the new version of MetaStock. We really tried to make some good changes to it and adding some new systems. That was always something that everyone asked, well, did you add any new experts in there? Or any new trading systems? You know, I mean, this is as complete as you can get. Sanjay, your MetaStock 13 won't have the LCI. This is only in MetaStock 14, so it's not going to have anything. So let me go ahead and finish the recording. I do appreciate everybody coming out. I'm going to stay around for some questions and answers, so don't leave. If you have more questions, I'll definitely help answer those. I just want to take the recording off right now, but I do appreciate everybody's time coming out. Let me just kind of quickly finish the PowerPoint here, just so you have my contact information. If you do not have MetaStock 13 or 14 yet, oops, and you want to upgrade, we've got some great upgrade specials going on right now. We did come out with a new training manual, Unleash the Power of MetaStock, which you do get for free. Talks about all the different charting options, not just tick bars. Goes into more explanation over the power tools, the new power console, filtering and backtesting, forecasting. Talks a lot more about editing those and looking at the chart patterns in there. And then he also talks about our previous version of looking at the sector indicators, the economics, a little bit more on the RMO. But we didn't include anything on this one on the LCI because he created so many videos on his website that it was hard to really talk about everything and help people understand that. So we just actually have that through our website. But also I can send you his links for the training video and also his website where you can go and get everything as well. But if you do want to contact me and upgrade, definitely give me a call. You can reach me on either of those numbers. The 800 number will be for those in the US and Canada. 801 is for international customers. You can also just chat with me as well, just that little site there, metastock.com/sales-chat. Ask for me when you log in, or shoot me a quick email, and I'll be more than happy to help you with any other questions. So let me go ahead and stop the recording now, but again, I appreciate everything. Everything and everyone's feedback. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording and go ahead and answer additional questions. So let's see, there was one on here. Edward, you were asking about the Ichimoku cloud. I mean, you could definitely draw something similar to that. There's not an ability. You'd have to actually copy the pattern from the forecaster. You don't go into MetaStock and copy that. I mean, it's not necessarily an add-on, but there is already the indicator that's built into MetaStock on the Ichimoku cloud if you wanted to really kind of mimic that. I mean, what you could do, and I've done this before with different indicators, you could actually have that indicator plotted on MetaStock and obviously get it as close as you want to. But it doesn't have that ability to grab it from MetaStock and put it into the forecaster. Craig, you're asking about the forecasting part where the Ichimoku cloud actually extends out. MetaStock doesn't have the ability to forecast out yet. That is actually coming very soon. It has to do with the scaling and the interface, and so it doesn't have that ability with any indicator, not just the cloud. However, for those that have the real-time version, you can actually plot that in the icon program, and it does plot it that way because the scaling is different in that versus MetaStock. So that was one thing we wanted to get in there, so you could at least use that in one of the versions if you're using real time. Manny, the question for the cost of the upgrade, depending on the version that you have, if you have version 13, well, tell me this, what version of MetaStock do you currently have? Is that Pro or end of day, Manny? That would be $129 for you, and Pro would be $199. Sanjay, if you just upgraded, let me know. You said 2 weeks ago I could probably get you a little better discount, but just let me know. And then Sang, you were asking how about options calculations. There's not an ability in MetaStock for backtesting options like deltas, gammas, the Greeks, and it doesn't have that ability. In the icon program in the Pro, you actually can get those, but there's not an ability to backtest those types of options. Timothy, I did record it, so I will send out the recording for you. Let's see. Now, Craig, you also were asking, I think you and I actually talked a couple days ago about about the market internals and what they've done. I mean, they didn't make any changes with 14 on that, I believe, and I said yesterday, I think I'd double check that for you just to make sure if that's the case. I believe what we did, like we were talking about yesterday, we kind of jury-rigged it where you can actually, where you can actually, use those sector and stat indicators. The McClellan oscillator was a big thing that got removed when we went to version 12, but that obviously was added in for version 13. So that's what I've got right now. I know that they are working diligently on getting those back into the software. And I'll have to actually talk to Kelly to double check what we're looking at as far as a time frame. Yeah, Craig, I actually meant to send you those videos yesterday, and I apologize, I wasn't able to. So when I get back to my desk, I'll send them, and then you'll have the videos for the real-time icons, zeniths is what we call it. So trying to look and see if there are more questions. I think there was one that I missed. Oh, it was by, I'm not sure if he's still in here. Yeah, he is. In version 11, you could run more than one Explorer currently, and then it would actually take the other Explorers. Yeah, that never changed. You could have done that in 12, 13, and also 14. Manny, the scanning of the patterns is done in the Forecaster, which doesn't have the Explorer option. Again, that is coming. That's a request. We try to get in here as much as we could. But right now it doesn't have that ability, but we are actually doing that. So you'll be able to, upcoming versions, you're going to be able to take those patterns that you create and then be able to scan the market. Maybe you want to scan the whole S&P 500 or NASDAQ or whatever it is. But yeah, that is actually something that we're adding. We're trying to do it as much as we possibly can with each upgrade. So, Archie, it would depend on what their question was, your layouts are freezing, or MetaStock is freezing. So you probably want to talk to support on that one. And find out what the problem would be. It sounds like possibly memory, but mine haven't locked up more than 6 or more charts. That is really, that's really strange. Craig, yes, the exploration is still the same number of segments in each exploration. Are there any other questions that I can answer for you right now that I may have missed? I'm just double checking to see. Oh, Sanjay, you were also asking about like the memory itself. Yeah, you actually, like I said, it depends on the version, but anywhere from 2 to 4 gigs of RAM. I mean, as far as hard disk space, it's uses very minimal. At least running Windows 7, it will work on XP, but there'll have to be some configuring done. It's better to have Windows 7, 8, or 8.1. Trying to see if there are any other questions. We don't ever include plugins that are purchased plugins, Manny. So if you want version 14, it wouldn't include the Big Trends Toolkit. That still is an extra cost. Okay, I see a couple people still typing, so I'll wait here. Okay, Craig. Well, you're welcome. Like I said, we talked yesterday, and I know that we're diligently trying to get those market internals back in for you. So, Archie, if you want to upgrade, actually just give me a call, and I can take care of that for you. Make sure you get the right price, and then also make sure that you get the book there. So you could email me or just give me a call directly. And I don't know if you're international or here in the U.S. or Canada, but you call or send me an email, come into the chat, ask for me, and pretty easy to get you all set up. But actually installing the program, if you're on end of day, it's actually going to be on your download page. If you're in Pro, you install it a different way, which I don't want to explain that process to everyone right here. So, any other questions? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and close out, but like I said, definitely give me a call, and I will be more than happy to take care of any questions, get you upgraded. Like I said, we're running some good promotions right now. So definitely let me know, and look forward to hearing from you. Thanks again for taking the time to come out, and like I said, I look forward to hearing back. Thanks.